For the next hour, the green and gold are in charge. Welcome to In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle is brought to you by Mole Lake Casino Lodge and Conference Center. Now, here's Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman BJ Raji.
And welcome, everyone, to Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill in Kimberly. Good to have you along here. In the Huddle back as the Packers get ready for the playoffs. A nice bye weekend off. BJ, what'd you do? Lay around, watch football all week?
I got some rest, definitely. Watch some football, obviously, but just went over to the stadium, got some cold tub going. Watch a little film on myself and just getting ready. It's exciting to finally have a playoff game at home and not having to travel and go into hostile environments.
You needed the cold tub, huh?
Yeah, man. After 16 weeks, the legs get tired.
Yeah.
My snap count is up there, nowadays. So just trying to do everything I can to be rejuvenated and be ready to go.
Yeah. How bad is that thing, trying to crawl on that thing?
Man, you've been doing it for a while, so you got little tricks. I jump in the hot tub for like 5 minutes and kind of get my body all hot, warmed up, and then I'll hop in.
Yikes.
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do.
All right. Let's welcome to the program a segment early here out of the University of Colorado. He was the 7th-round draft pick of the Green Bay Packers 3 years ago. He is linebacker Brad Jones.
All right. Look at that. Man, applause and everything.
Well, I think there's still I think they still can't get over that tackle you made against that 15-year-old kid.
No, right? It's kind of like, you go to a NASCAR race, you don't really hop the fence, it's going to be a crash.
That's a good point. I never heard anybody describe it that way.
It's kind of like that.
I have a new appreciation for it now.
All right. That's it.
Well, I thought it was pretty interesting because you said, there had been a lot of standing around. It was a long game. There was instant replay after instant replay. You were kind of just getting a little chilly out there.
Yeah, it was just kind of cold out there. And there's 10 security guards running around. And I was like, who is this? Is he like a 4-3 guy or what's going on? The kid is moving, so it's extra practice.
And your head of security, did he fan him?
Yeah.
He completely whiffed him.
Oh man, that was bad. Yeah.
Completely whiffed him.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Well, there was a little powdered sugar laying on the field and a little sugar from the donuts after the shots that went around.
Must have been, right?
Yeah, that was all right. Your impressions on your second-round opponent. You guys are going to take on the Giants on Sunday. Faced them already once. BJ, we'll start with you.
They're a good team. Obviously, anytime you can win a division, that says a lot about your team. But we're pretty familiar with them, playing them, about a month ago. It was definitely a tight game. They definitely pose different threats with, the running game looks like it's getting going. And out on the perimeter, those guys are pretty dynamic. Eli's playing well, so it's going to be a tough challenge.
Yeah, Brad, I think kind of two different teams from the standpoint of you guys weren't quite healthy back then. They certainly weren't healthy back then. You're both a lot healthier going into this one. It's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, I definitely think so. On top of that, it's a playoff game when it comes down to it. And, all the kind of tendencies of teams kind of tend to go out the window when you get to a playoff game. On top of the fact that they got tons of guys healthy than they did, and we have, a healthier team than we did. It's the playoffs. They're going to throw, I'm sure, 10 different things at us that they've never run their whole regular season.
What did you guys think when they basically, in effect, shut out Atlanta? It was a safety score that was the responsibility of the offense, but otherwise it would have been a 24-0.
My history with Atlanta, I'm not really a fan of their organization. I don't think they do things the right way. I think they're overconfident and kind of talk before the battle. I do obviously love Matt. He's my quarterback in college, but I was not surprised. Atlanta's one of those teams to me that have good players, but they just don't necessarily have what it takes right now to advance in the playoffs. The Giants being a more veteran team, that they have been there, home. I think all the positives were in their favor.
Yeah, I definitely agree with BJ over there. I think definitely all the positives were definitely in their favor. I just kind of worked out for them.
Well, the Giants, Pierre-Paul, the defensive end, he already went off today and guaranteed a victory.
Yeah, I know those guys.
That,
I'm from there, so knowing Jason, he's a young kid. His first playoff win was in dramatic fashion. He's excited. He's had a pretty good season, all pro. Knowing Tuck and OC, they've been there, done that. They've been all pros and won Super Bowls. I don't see those guys doing that. It's just an immature kid and just excited to be in the moment. And I'm sure 24 hours after he said it, he's probably sorry he said it, but he couldn't take it back. But no, I don't think that's a big deal. We don't worry about that. Coach McCarthy always teaches us to kind of stay above that. So we try to do our best.
Giants were the worst rushing outfit in the National Football League, but in playoff game number 1, they went for just under 180. And let me ask you, when you see a guy like Brandon Jacobs coming at you, Brad.
Mm-hmm. He's a big dude.
That's a load right there.
Honestly, I think Brandon Jacobs is probably bigger than me. He's bigger than I mean, most of the other than D linemen, most of the guys on our team on defense. But I don't think anybody ever has a second thought. Tackling. I mean, we see guys flying in there, tagging him. If you turn on the film, our last game, and I mean, we know what type of defense we are. We come to play, I think, every time, regardless of our opponent, and it's like, I don't know. There's no fear, I think, back there with us.
You guys the early line has you as 9-point favorites. When you see that, what do you think?
I kind of expect the point spread. I don't really get into.
Let's say you're a 9-point underdog. Are you guys using that to motivate yourselves?
No, I think when you've been through what we've been through in the recent history, and you go on the road, win a Super Bowl, you beat 3 division opponents on the road, and you go win a Super Bowl. I think that you understand the magnitude of this game, this moment. And I don't think that you don't need really any extra motivation. I think you understand it's the playoffs. I think looking back, our rookie year, 2009, I think the Cardinals had a little more juice than us because the year prior to that was their playoff run. Yeah. And I think they understood what it took to get there. I don't think we were quite ready yet. And you look a year later from the Cardinals loss, we go all the way. So I think we learned from last year and we come ready to play.
All right. We'll spend more time talking with Brad in this next segment about the fact that he started last week against the Lions, or a week and a half ago, and now he's got a chance to start this Sunday, looking like that might be a possibility when the Packers take on the Giants. We'll come back, talk more about that first-round matchup against the New York Giants. Packers-Giants on Sunday at 3:30. We are back with more after this in the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman BJ Raji.
And we are back here at Tanner's in Kimberly. Good to have you along. And we're joined by Brad Jones on the program tonight, along with our host, BJ Raji, been with us all season long, doing a great job. Mike McCarthy says you guys just about ran him over heading out the door last Thursday after practice.
Did we?
Yeah,
I didn't even know
did.
that. Probably.
Everyone's excited, to kind of, Coach does a great job with the schedule, but it's not too often in the course of the season you're going to get a certain amount of 2-3 days off in a row. So
we were gassed up.
Some guys, a lot of guys went home. Some guys took flights home. Yeah, I stayed out here. So I guess the guys that wanted to go were gone.
Yeah, he said in the press conference with the media after practice, he said, when you get in the locker room, I don't think there's going to be too many people in there.
No.
He said, can't you hear the cars running outside?
Yeah. Because I think he canceled the post. Usually we have post-practice meetings, so that obviously keeps people around, but he canceled those, so I guess that was the cue that you guys can leave.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Well, you guys looking at the postseason now after what Detroit laid on you, it turned the Packers yardage-wise into the worst yardage defense in the NFL. 8 yards behind the New England Patriots, who ironically are the 2 number 1 seeds. So it just goes to show you that the rules kind of set it up for an offensive league. But
we haven't. Obviously in that situation, we haven't, from a statistical standpoint, yards wise, and we haven't been where we usually are in the last 2 years that I've been here. But you look at a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know they had some injuries, but the number 1 total ranked defense. Yeah. I mean, you know how I feel about Tebow. We talk about this. And, where are they? So that kind of goes to show you, I know the injury situation is a little bit different for them, but, ratings and rankings aren't so much everything. We're looking at it as, we're home for the remainder, hopefully, of these playoffs. This is a new season. We all been through the playoffs. I think the sense of urgency will pick up, and I think the realization that anything you do that's detrimental to the team could potentially cost us. Yeah. So I think when everyone has that in mind, I think you have a little mentality and people play things a little different.
I think the stats lie too a little bit. I mean, I think the stats do a poor job of showing how what type of defense we have.
Well, they don't. You're right. Absolutely, they don't.
Right, and you look at for majority of the season, teams are, not to say we could stop them, but I mean, offense putting up 14, 21 points before you could blink. Now it's turned into a shootout. And you guys are, no huddle, and so it's a little bit different. But ultimately, you are what your numbers say. So to that, we are.
Points-wise, you're about the middle of the pack. But there's another stat. I don't remember the name of it. You guys probably know what it is. But it's I think you're 9th or 8th or something in it, and it has to do with a ratio that includes
quarterback rating.
Yeah. I think it's a quarterback differential.
It's
our quarterback's rating. Obviously, Aaron's been phenomenal. And you look at our opponent's quarterback rating, and that basically sums up by saying if our quarterback is consistently playing better than our other team's quarterback, and the differential, I think we're like one in the league, number 1 or top 5 for the most part of the season. Yeah. That's usually where our wins are coming from.
Plus takeaways coming to, and you guys are right up at the top of the league in that department.
Definitely.
As well.
Takeaways are huge for this defense. Usually sacks are down, obviously, but that's something we can correct in the postseason. But I'm glad to see that we're always taking the ball away, and we're up in the top of the league with that.
Well, to a man, as every player literally that I talked to on the defensive side of the football in the last week before you guys took off for the weekend, it was, you're kind of going about it the right way. It's like you can't do anything about the 16 weeks before. Right. So this is a new season, and what we do from this point forward in the playoffs is, what we're going to be judged on now.
Yeah. Definitely. One of I think the greatest things Dom did for us recently, I think we had some time, and he brought us in as a defense, and he showed us the proper way to run each defense that we run. He broke down the film to runs, goal line, You
guys were in there a long time in those film sessions too, weren't you?
And Dom, he kind of put the plays how it's supposed to look. Because a lot of times what happens is once we break up, Brad's going with the outside linebackers, I'm going with the D lineman. I don't know what Brad's coach is telling him. He doesn't know what my coach is telling me. So to get us all in the group room together and you hear the communication. So as a middle linebacker, Bishop's behind me, so he can tell, he knows what I'm doing up front, and I think that'll help us.
Yeah, it kind of keeps us all on the same page. I mean, I know what he's thinking, and he kind of gets the idea what I'm looking at.
Because most of the time you're split up, and you're just worried about your position. You don't really go over the whole defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You really kind of caught this team by storm your rookie season. You came in and started right away after being a 7th-round draft pick. Which just goes to show you the draft is not an exact science because low-round picks, undrafted free agents continue to make teams play well, turn into starters, and so on and so forth. You had a couple of injury misfortunes along the way, and I think somebody asked you if you felt like the forgotten one this year. And do you remember that question?
I don't remember that question.
And
maybe.
You said, well, you know what? He said, I just kind of concentrated. They needed special teams players, so I just kind of concentrated on being a good special teams player, and when you get your break, you get your chance.
Right, yeah, I mean, definitely. I don't remember the question exactly. I mean, people come out the woodwork with crazy questions all the time. But I felt answering that question probably just, I mean, you don't worry about it too much. I mean, you just keep your head down. And I tell people all the time, I just work here. Like, I just work there. They tell me what to do, and I play hard.
Yeah, you must be thrilled, though, and I know it's early in the week, so there's, you don't want to play the game before Sunday rolls around, but you obviously are, you've got to go out there and make an impression because this is an opportunity for you to reclaim that job back and keep it.
I think I kind of think that's the mindset all the time, though. I mean, honestly, I don't think it really changes much. I mean, you have to make an impact, I think, every time you step on the field, or you're going to get overlooked. So I think it's just about going out there, the same intensity I do every time. Yeah.
You have an economics degree at the University of Colorado.
I do.
And you're 4 credits shy of a degree in astrophysics.
Astrophysics, yep, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird, right? It's like, what?
So what do you want to do?
What I want to do? I don't know. The door is open on that one.
Besides play 10, 12 more years in the NFL.
I mean, obviously you want to play, as long as you can in the league. But, I mean, after that, Just try to focus now on what I'm doing now. I mean, I think I got a couple avenues that I can slide off into after.
I mean, when you
football.
go to school, you must have an idea what you want to do in mind.
Yeah.
You must have. So, what did you have in mind?
Absolutely. honestly, I mean, I wanted
force it out of
to
'em?
be an astronaut. That was my thing. I was like, I want to go work for NASA or something. And
Yeah, well, now that the country's poor and has no more money to send anybody to space.
exactly. NASA, they stopped manned space flights anyway, so it's like, good thing I got drafted. Jeez. So, I don't know. I mean, after football, I guess we'll just figure that out as it goes.
Yeah. Well, you were born in Lansing, Michigan, landed in Colorado.
I landed in Colorado,
Did anybody offer you close to home?
I did. I had a bunch of offers actually close to home, and I remember waking up probably my junior year, maybe sophomore year in high school, and I was like, I am leaving here and never coming back. And I even told my parents that.
So much for saying yes to Michigan, huh?
Yeah. So, yeah, I said no to everywhere, and the farthest place that offered me, I went there. Plus, they had an awesome physics program out there, so I kind of...
And you wanted to be an astronaut.
I did, and I wanted to be an astronaut. So
Now you live in San Diego in the off season.
Yeah, I live in San Diego and just surf every day and just living that life. I moved out to San Diego. I had a bunch of friends out there and some really good trainers out there, so I could train in the off seasons. And I just love it out there, man.
When did you learn how to surf?
A couple years ago.
Okay.
I got hooked up with this guy. Just got hooked up with this guy. It was random. It was not like a bum or anything, like a regular surf instructor.
Probably another guy with an astrophysics degree.
Probably, another guy.
Has nothing else to do but surf.
Probably aerospace degree or something. And he taught me. And it was cool. And I don't know, I got big into that.
So you're pretty good at it?
I'm pretty good is relative. I mean, there's guys who are awesome, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
How do you think BJ would do at that?
I think BJ'd be all right, actually. I think he'd be good.
I guess we'll never know. I won't be attempting that.
See, I think he's got the low center of gravity, and he's very athletic. I think he'd do fine.
BJ's gonna
It's
come out
all
there
good
with
till them waves hit you.
me. Nah, man,
You're going under the water.
the dude I go with is 300 pounds plus.
God bless him.
Anthony Toribio.
Real? God bless him.
Yeah.
We have to say goodbye to Brad Jones. Brad, thanks for coming out this evening. It's been a pleasure.
All right.
BJ, we'll continue with you, and good luck in the playoffs, all right?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Brad Jones, the Green Bay Packers. Back with more after this in the Huddle from the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman BJ Raji.
And we are back here at Tanner's in Kimberly. Good to have you along. Transportation for our guests brought to you by L&S Classic Limousine Service. Personal professional service for all occasions. Call 800-830-5933 for your reservation. Well, you saw by now, I'm sure everyone probably has seen the new State Farm commercial over the weekend where BJ Raji is a regular cult hero. That was good. I'll tell you, it was really good.
Yeah, I had fun shooting it. Guys, Aaron obviously is a character in himself, so he made it fun. And those people in that commercial, like the Asian and the guy and the girl, they're hilarious, man. I had a blast.
Yeah, when it popped on the tube for the first time, how many calls, texts, were you pretty flooded?
You know what? As crazy as it sounds, it was kind of like after I went back to my locker after we won the Super Bowl, like I looked at my phone, it was, in the hundreds.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah, it was good. Everybody wants a piece of the star,
Nah, I just think, I have to give credit, obviously to Aaron and, my advertising company to do a good job, and obviously just having fun, and, I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and you know this. I mean, every time you do good at something and there's a good reaction and people like it and people are talking about it, there will be another chance coming down the road.
Definitely. I had the opportunity to do the SB commercial with John Wall over the summer, and that was my first national commercial, and I got good feedback, and I heard I got good feedback from this, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So your agent's out there actively pursuing?
He's doing what he can. I mean, obviously the market for a nose tackle isn't as big as Aaron or a linebacker, but obviously I'm doing okay, and hopefully more will come.
National championship game tonight, LSU, Alabama. You're a big college football fan.
Right.
Who do you like?
Man, I want to go with Bama, but You know, I just can't bet against those Tigers, man. I'm gonna go with LSU tonight.
Are you an LSU fan or?
No, the first time I went with Alabama and it bit me, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my head this time.
All right. Do you understand the overtime rules in pro football postseason?
I do. I believe it's if you win the coin toss, if you go out and score a field goal, the game's not over. You have to score a touchdown, right, to win.
Yep.
And if, say you score, I say a defensive score ends the game. Is that right?
Correct.
So let's say you go down, win the coin toss, you kick a field goal, the other team has an opportunity. If they score a touchdown, they win. Is that right?
Right.
Right.
And if they kick a field goal and tie, then it's just next points win.
Right.
Yeah. Do you think that's too tricky?
No, I don't think so. I think if you think about it, I love kickers, but the magnitude of a playoff game, the regular season is different, but magnitude of a playoff game, a lot of times your kicker isn't your best player, so I don't think it's fair to put all that pressure and everyone's season on the shoulders of someone that's, if he's lucky, he's going to have 5 or maybe 4, between 3 and 4 snaps a game, you know what I mean?
So you don't think that because, and I understand, I agree with
Right.
you that the playoffs are bigger, more
Basically, what
important.
I'm saying is, I love Mason, but I'd rather have our season decide on Aaron.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I just, I don't know, and it's not like I want the games to go any longer. I just think
Right.
that in the regular season, I think every win, when you're only playing 16 games, in my opinion, every one of them is important.
Definitely. But we obviously know that, in the regular season, it's not win or go home. It's win. If you win or lose, like the old cliche is, you'll learn from it and you'll move on and get better. But in the playoffs, it's you're learning and moving on and getting better. If you lose, it's we're learning in the off season while other people are still playing.
Yeah.
And I think, I kind of like the rule. I think that, you shouldn't in a playoff game and a magnitude like that in a tournament type of atmosphere. I think that touchdown should decide the game.
I was going to ask Brad before he left, but I'll ask you, and I'm not sure if you had a chance to talk to him today or run across past him in the hallway, but Kevin Green,
Yeah.
the outside linebackers coach, a finalist for the National
I did.
Football League
I
Hall
shook
of
his
Fame.
hand. I shook his hand and let him know, congratulated him. Let him know that's no easy task to do what he's done, to be third all time in sacks, accumulated. I think it's 160. That's amazing. I think he doesn't get enough credit. A lot of times, probably people say he wasn't with one team. He's a journeyman, but obviously 160 sacks is proof that this guy wasn't a journeyman. He was an impact player, and I think he should have been a first ballot.
Yeah, he was a real difference maker, and I think he a couple of times was a semifinalist, and then
Right.
and this is the third time, and this time he becomes a finalist. I think he's in. I think he's going to get it, and I hope he does because he deserves it.
Definitely, numbers speak for himself. 160 sacks that's amazing. I think Bruce Smith and Reggie White are only people that are ahead of him, and I'm sure everyone that loves the game of football appreciate those two guys.
You remember watching him? Were you
Kevin?
Yeah.
Here and there, towards the end of his career, when he was in when he was in San Francisco and in Carolina, but I don't really remember too much about him.
AFC pairings: Houston at Baltimore. Could there be a less interesting game than that?
Is that a joke?
No, that's not a joke. I'm serious.
Houston, you don't think that's a good game?
Houston at Baltimore.
I mean, it's one of those things where something has to give.
I think it'll be a good game. I'm just not sure that any one of them is, either one of those teams is a difference maker and is going to have a say in the AFC Championship in the end. I mean, I guess that one of them would be in there, but you know what I mean?
I disagree.
You don't
man.
know what I mean.
I disagree. No.
Well, that's not the first time, so.
You have a team likes to run the ball and successful. They have, a premier back in this league going up against, Haloli Nada, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs. There's nothing interesting about that, man. Nothing at all.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I was joking. That's very interesting. You have Pro Bowlers all over the place.
All right.
And in a playoff atmosphere.
I think all those guys have been on that team all season long. In one game they really play well, and then the next game they lay a big fat egg. You don't know which Baltimore team's going to show up.
But the pressure of the playoffs is
and
what.
Houston's quarterback is gone. If your quarterback's gone, I don't want to. It's time to let somebody else play.
Yeah, I know that, but for for example, the pressure of the stage, is what's exciting, to see how these people perform when they know that if they lose, they're going home.
Yeah.
I think that's what the playoffs are all about.
Yeah, now I'd much rather see what Tim Tebow can do in New England.
I know that's why you were setting that up to say that, aren't you?
You know me too well.
You know, Tebow is, last night, great performance. You know what I mean? If he continues to do what he's done last game, then obviously they'll be in a good position to win. But, you know, I like my quarterback, and I like how he plays.
Yeah. I think with Tebow, I think he brings an element that you would think that defenses, I mean, why do offenses not run an option offense or a wishbone offense? Because you would think it'd be very easy to stop, right? Professional athletes, faster, they don't get around, harder to get around the corner, all that kind of stuff. Plus your quarterback could get beat up. Quarterbacks are too valuable in the NFL. Well, so you got this guy that, in spite of all those things, he still runs it. He's tough as nails. He gets up. He doesn't, he doesn't ever seem to get hurt. And I think it's like he can either hand off or fake the handoff to the running back. Then there's the threat that he might run, and then there's also a threat, although not a huge threat, that he might throw the ball.
You know, there's two things I'll say to that. You know, number one, if you look at the film and the highlights, I guess, you know, Tebow's throwing the ball better than he has been, but his receivers are getting off jams and are making the corners look foolish and a big window to throw. And the second thing I want to say is, you give these defensive coordinators an entire offseason. It's tough. It's tough in a week's time. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I know they have 16 weeks of film, but they only had a week to prepare for Tim Tebow and that offense. Now you give that same defense, a whole offseason, and probably teams in his division that has to play him twice, I'll be paying more attention to him.
Well, are you suggesting that if Pittsburgh is on the schedule next year, and so they're going to spend a month learning how to defend the wishbone?
I mean, not necessarily, but...
Are you guys going to do that if you have Denver on the schedule next year?
I couldn't say. I mean, I just play. I don't make up the schedules.
All right. You're just not going to buy into this Tim Tebow thing.
I gave him credit. He won the game, a meaningful game. He played well. He improved. But I'll see what he does next week.
All right. I agree with you. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. All right. Justin Hull is up next. He is in the bullpen warming up. And we'll come back. It's our email segment time, sponsored by Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau. Back with more in the Huddle from Tanner's in Kimberly after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman BJ Raji.
And we are back here at Tanner's in Kimberly, Granite Peak Ski Area. Excited about another incredible season. Snowmaking's in full force, and we do promise... In fact, the folks at the ski hill promise that outstanding ski conditions are right around the corner. It is going to snow, folks. It is going to snow. Right, BJ?
I suppose.
Folks at Granite Peak say it is, and they're laying that out on the line for you. Check out the great ski packages, and it's not too late to give the gift of winter by purchasing Granite Peak gift cards. Visit one of the great ski destinations in the entire Midwest. Go to skigranitepeak.com for a complete list of hours, prices, and packages. Back at Tanner's here in Kimberly. Before we go out to Justin Hull, before I forget this, I gotta have you throw out what we were just talking about the Green Bay crowd versus the Milwaukee crowd, because it's always there's always this competition. If it doesn't sound loud enough at the stadium on one particular Sunday or the other, the Packer fans from Green Bay will always say, well, it's those Milwaukee season ticket holders, they don't know how to make noise. Well, apparently there is some truth to that, because even the head coach notices that, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm getting in trouble for saying this, but...
you won't get in trouble.
I'm joking, but no, he'll bring it up if we have an early start and he gets the word that, be the Milwaukee crowd, he'll just mention it to us so that, we kind of create our own energy. Basically, we're not going to get any from the crowd,
He says the night before in a team meeting, you guys got to be ready to create your own energy, because it's the Milwaukee season ticket holders out there to... That's good stuff.
Like he says, it's just the facts.
That is good stuff. All right, Justin.
They do the wave, though, when the offense is on the field, don't they?
Wave and noise.
When the crowd does the wave, you're not supposed to when the offense is at work. That's supposed to be a thing when the defense is on the field, right? Okay, I've heard people complain. I've heard Green Bay crowd people complain about the Milwaukee crowd in that sense.
Oh.
All right, anyway, let's get to the questions, something more interesting. InTheHuddleShow.com, that is the website. You can go there each and every week, find out who the guest is in the upper right-hand corner. Submit your question. That's how you have an opportunity for the Granite Peak Ski Package. Start with this one. This is kind of interesting. I think this has to do with your acting skills. But Stephen Fond du Lac wants to know, if there was a movie made of your life, who would play you?
I don't know. That's a good question. Oh, man.
Mickey Rooney?
Who?
Mickey Rooney?
Nah, not him. Not him.
Denzel Washington?
Nah, not him either.
Mr.
We have the crowd yelling, Mr. T.
Mr. T, exactly. Man, I don't know. Probably Will Smith, man, because he's just so cool, man.
How about who would
He's
play
the Fresh Prince. He's the Fresh Prince,
Smith.
man.
Bill, who would play you? All right, BJ, who would play Bill?
Give me your best insult. Come on.
What's that man named?
Larry the Cable Guy.
You got a Larry
There
the
we go.
Cable
The
Guy.
dude from Roseanne. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
John Goodman.
John Goodman.
John
that's
Goodman.
Big
probably-
Lebowski?
That's pretty close, probably.
All right, we'll get to our next question here. Comes from Tom and Nina. Wants to know, what is your favorite junk food, and are you allowed to eat it in season?
Ah, man.
Do you see that body? Does you think he watches? Do you think he watches what he eats?
No, junk food, obviously, the whole sugar aspect. Once you understand that, sugar is obviously not good for you, but that's the craving. So I try to stay within organic section. So if I'm gonna do something junk food wise, cookies or something, I try to make sure it's gluten free. Try to cut corners. But besides that, I try to do that sparingly.
Really? No junk food? You didn't sneak a bag of Cheetos this morning or something?
I just said that. I do eat junk food, but I try to cut corners.
All right, we'll go to the next question here. Last week you mentioned the Pro Bowl accomplishment as meaning a lot of respect. Who are some of the defensive tackles around the league that you look as, respect?
I respect, Justin Smith, those guys, Will Fork. I respect Sue. Some guys I respect, obviously. We all can't make the Pro Bowl, so, you can say what you want about that. But, there's obviously some players I respect. I understand the scheme, and I kind of take that into effect. Like, I don't expect Casey Hampton or Will Fork to have 7, 8, 9 sacks. I just respect their role in their defense. I'll watch Sue. I look for different things because I know he's allowed to do a little more.
All right, you talked about Sue, which transitions into the next question real well. Alan Appleton wants to know, a few weeks ago, Sue did the belt, kind of a symbol of Aaron Rodgers. What would you do if somebody tried to steal your dance?
What a great question you picked, man.
I just read them. I don't ask them.
I don't know. I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I see it as a symbol of respect, and they enjoyed the commercial.
Okay. We'll go to this one in Bob in Wrightstown. You're a big college sports fan. Who would you pick right now to win the Hoops national title?
Right now, just going off of everything right now, I'd probably pick Kentucky. I think that big freshman in the middle would probably be the difference in most of the games. But
I thought you were going to say Wisconsin.
I don't think anybody in Wisconsin is picking Wisconsin right now, Bill.
No.
We got time for one more?
Yes.
All right, let's do this one. Bill in Madison wants to know, what product would you endorse if you could?
Oh, man. Something with Apple. I mean, Apple's one of the hottest things going right now, so probably something with Apple.
Get a new phone instead of the cracked one that you have, right?
Yeah. When are you going to get a new phone, BJ?
Huh?
When are you going to get a new phone?
When I decide to.
Good answer.
Ultimately, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, you do need one.
You got to get like a car endorsement or something. You can drive around town and style on somebody else's dime.
Yeah, like a big Ford F-250, like your buddy Aaron Rodgers. All right,
you guys are on another planet tonight.
We're going to take a break. We will come back, and we'll announce our winner of the Granite Peak emails segments. We're coming back with more In the Huddle after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay defensive lineman BJ Raji.
And we are back in the huddle, brought to you by Mole Lake Casino Lodge and Conference Center. More than great games and casino action, Mole Lake offers first-class accommodations in their 75-room resort hotel, including family suites and whirlpool suites, along with a fitness center, swimming pool, and full-service conference center. Alongside Pro Bowler BJ Raji. Time to find out the winner of the Granite Peak Ski Package. Let's go back out to Justin Hull.
All right, BJ was making fun of all my questions. You want to pick the winner this week, BJ?
You know what? I'll leave that to you. You're good for something. You're here for some reason.
All right, we'll try to make somebody's night. Let's go with Tom and Nina with the junk food question.
All right.
How about that?
Tom and Nina, congratulations. As good as any. Tom, you were the recipient of the two-night stay at Granite Peak with the full ski privileges and so on and so forth. Great facility. If you've never been there, I encourage you to take advantage. Tom will, obviously, because he's got a free one. But even if you don't get the free one, I encourage you. Just great prices, great hill. You'll love it. If you love to ski, you got to check out Granite Peak. BCS officials to meet tomorrow to exchange ideas about possible changes to the format of major college football's postseason system. Officials say everything imaginable will be discussed, and while it seems certain that major changes are coming, a full-scale playoff to determine a champion is not one of them, though. What do you think is going to happen? Are you keeping an eye on this situation?
Not really.
No?
At the end of the day, the decision is going to be made, and some people are going to like it, some people aren't going to like it. So, so it depends what happens. Obviously, I don't know what they're going to meet about, so I have to wait and see.
The BCS Executive Director, Bill Hancock, says protecting the importance of the regular season was vital, and that the larger the playoff field, the more damage to the regular season. One format that will be given serious consideration is a 4-team playoff called a +1. So you can get the 4 best teams in there. I'm all right with that.
But then the argument is going to be who are the 4 best teams.
Well, it's better than the 2 teams.
Okay, I don't have enough to say to it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think that that there's the 3rd team many years that you could argue that they are the 2nd team?
I mean, this year, my argument for this year was, I felt Oklahoma State deserved a chance. But after seeing Oklahoma State in their bowl game, I realized the BCS got it right, because I don't think Oklahoma State stood a chance against LSU or Alabama. Mm-hmm. They put up a ton of points, but you can tell the talent level isn't where it needs to be for them to compete with a team like this.
What about the Badgers?
Wisconsin Badgers, great program, great coach, but that's a different style of football there. You know what I mean? I just think that, for 4 quarters, I don't think they can hold up. That's just my opinion,
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the Giants now, as we'll kind of finish out talking about Sunday's game. And they appear to be pretty well diversified. It looks like they can run the football. I mean, they're, after everybody's healthy, they ran it well last week. They can throw it well with Eli Manning. Defense are pretty good.
Right.
How difficult are they to defend when when they can do it on both sides and they've got big back, small back?
When obviously a back like Brandon Jacobs, you kind of want to do a good job up front, because you really don't want a guy like that getting into your secondary. Having a safety or a corner having to tackle this guy on a consistent basis, But with the same token, he's not a guy that is looking to really bounce it outside. He's looking to kind of keep it up. He wants to hit the ball, to hit the ground running downhill, kind of in a straight line. He's not really more of a cut guy. So I think if we can take the initial gaps away downhill and make him cut and change direction, I think that'll be in our favor.
Yeah, when he has tried to bounce it outside this year, it hasn't gone very well for him.
Right. So I think his size is definitely obviously a factor in the game, but I think the fact that he's limited as far as agility is concerned, I think we have an avenue to try to attack him.
Now, most times a defense will say, well, our number one thing is we got to stop the run.
Right.
All right, but I would think for the Giants that's really true.
Definitely, because they have Brandon, but they also have Bradshaw, and I think he's a very good back. I think he's pretty underrated. So just going off, the good thing about this matchup is we played these guys not too long ago, so we have film on how they tried to attack us. So we look at some things that they hurt us on, and that was one of the things one of the deals when he was getting downhill, straight down the line. He was busting through, a safety having to come up and tackle him, which is, a lot of safeties can't tackle this guy. So we have to do a better job as far as gap integrity.
Well, I'm expecting a whole lot more blitzing from the Packers again this week. Dom Capers, you remember well, he really loaded up last year quite a bit on the blitz.
I can't really give away our plan of attack.
I know you'd say that.
But, Dom definitely, he learns, he gets better. We have some new wrinkles in there, learning from how they were successful against us, a month ago. And hopefully, we can execute. The more and more, I look at our defense, and, you can say what you want about Dom, but I think the reason we're a lot of times we're in that position wasn't because of the call, It's because of the execution. And I think, as players, and just the more and more I watch our games, going back and watch our film this season, it's pretty evident that what he calls, and when you execute it right, it works. And we have proof from last year's Super Bowl run, and having success and being a playoff team the year before. So it's kind of up to us on the players, and I'm looking forward to the challenge.
All right. Well, last year you had you were the underdog. This year you have the target on your back as the favorite. So we'll see how things boil out. Packers and Giants. Good luck, BJ. We'll talk about it next week.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
BJ Raji, defensive tackle of the Green Bay Packers. Packers 15-1 against the Giants on Sunday. Again, we're back on Monday night to talk about it. Thanks for listening, and thanks for being with us. We're at Tanner's in Kimberly, back again next Monday on the Woodward Radio Network.